people. I'm talking about liquid. Rich enough to have your own jet. Rich enough not to waste time. Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated. They're analysts. They don't know preferred stock from livestock, all right? The new law of evolution in corporate America seems to be survival of the unfittest.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Sunday night, March the 25th, 2012. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hello, STT.
How are you tonight, dear?
Oh, just really excited about part 2 of the EVPH interview. Getting excited about it, so how are you?
I'm fantastic, and part
Great.
2 does sound exciting.
Most definitely.
All right, also joining us on the program tonight, I have Mr. Kopp.
Hey, STT, QT Cal, how are you?
Good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing great. Absolutely great.
That's good to hear. Also on the program tonight with us is Sifakia.
Aloha, STT gang. How you guys doing this weekend?
Mahalo, brah. Everything
Aloha.
well? Everything well by you?
Yeah, you get a couple hours off this weekend here, STT.
I did.
Nice. Good to hear.
Always nice to have a couple hours off.
You deserve a couple hours.
Actually got to cut my grass for the first time this year. Today. All 5 acres of it. And all 3 hours out there sitting on the riding mower. Anyway, that's an adventure that we'll talk about later in the show. As you heard earlier, it is part 2 of a CEO interview. Doing tonight's CEO interview, as always, is Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks, STT. We're here with Mr. Paul Norman, the CEO of Everybody's Phone Company, stock ticker EVPH. Now, this is part 2, as that you've heard. The first interview was an hour long, and there was probably about 10 questions I wasn't able to cover due to the fact that I dove down in deep into a couple of different areas where Mr. Norman talked about the short-term goals, long-term goals, and just a plethora of information regarding that. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the show, Mr. Norman.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Glad to have you back. It's appreciate you taking the time out to be with us. And I basically gave a small little recap of where we covered the short-term goals, long-term goals, and a lot of different pieces of from a wave top perspective from the technology piece. What I wanted to do is go directly into the pieces of that technology in a more deeper fashion, because the avenues that you have are just tremendous, and I want people to understand what they are. So let's go ahead and just let's talk technology.
Fantastic.
All right. The very first one
what we're looking at doing is we've got a. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're coming in fine.
Okay, fantastic. So anyway, technology-wise, we've coming up with a multi-fingered approach in that we're actually coming out and, we kind of visited about some of the stuff earlier in the week of, kind of opening the realm of what we do, beyond BlackBerry, then, broadening it to pretty much all smartphones. And then, of course, going even further into different technologies, which would be like the tablets and getting into medical devices. We've got a lot. We've had, well, I say a lot. We have, they're big companies that are coming after us, wanting to offer similar programs to their clients and to their end users and their distributors. That they have an out of warranty repairs that does cover accidental damage, because right now they don't have things like that. And we've got some manufacturing companies that manufacture products for hospitals, like the high-end, thermometers that they use, and blood pressure machines, and EKG machines, things like that, as well as durable medical good devices. So where those would be like a hearing aid. We've got a company that's a large hearing aid manufacturing company that they've got some new products coming out that actually integrate into like their televisions, so that instead of just hearing what's going on, that these things are making a Bluetooth connection to the television, and what's actually being heard can be broadcasted via Bluetooth into their hearing aids. Doing that kind of stuff where it's wireless environment, they don't have to have the TV blaring, bothering everybody, but they know how to make it. They know what they're they think they've got a real good product, but the problem is they don't have anybody to work either on the hearing aid or the device that actually interfaces in with the TV. And so to do a valuable service to their customers, they want to try to get this stuff ready to go before they actually bring this product to market. So, that's, I guess, kind of, to me, it's almost the boring stuff compared to what we've got coming. We've got a couple of ideas that we've been actually using. Okay, I'm sorry, I just dropped my pen there. I was taking some notes. Anyway, so we've got a couple of actual, I guess, lack of a better word, inventions that we've been sitting on, and they're getting real close to coming to fruition. And these are going to be stuff that they're world changers or market changers, and that it's going to be stuff that people have never ever seen before. I'll just kind of give you, I guess, a little taste of one of them, in that we've got a technology that we've been working on, and it's pretty much there. And it's a combination between 3D and hologram technology. And I call it high-def, two-dimensional photography. And I guess the best way to explain it is, say you've got a logo, and, give me when you think of a logo, think of somebody that has a very notable logo. What's the first one that comes to your mind?
Apple.
Okay, Apple. Perfect. Okay, so you look at an Apple logo, and it's very two-dimensional. It's an outline of an apple, with kind of a little teardrop in it. What if we developed a housing for, say, the iPhone 4S, that when you're looking at that apple and you're looking at it from the front, it kind of looks the same, but you kind of notice that it looks round. It's not a flat image, two-dimensional image. It actually looks kind of 3D. But when you turn it to the side, where typical 3D pictures, when they turn to the side, they show another picture of something else. But in this particular technology, it actually, you can see the side and the back of the apple. And it's the actual picture is paper thin, but because of the hologram technology, you can actually see the sides. So say you've got a sports team, since we're in Houston, Houston Texans, where they've got the bull that's their logo, and it's dressed in a little Texans outfit, but they have say they want to make a one-of-a-kind housing, again, for the Apple 4S or the Apple 4, the iPhone, that you would actually be able to, when you're looking at it from the front, you're looking at the bull, but that bull's sitting on a 100-yard football field, and so you can see the depth all the way back 100 yards on this picture. And when you start turning it sideways, you can actually see the side and around the back of the bull.
Oh, amazing.
And so that technology is pretty much ready to go. And what we're kind of finalizing now is the manufacturing of it. But in doing that, we are not looking at just making like a snap-on case, which everybody can do. We're actually talking with several large companies about putting together almost like an OEM offering for them. So say you've got a large cola company, and this cola company wants to have their, we'll almost let the name slip. Anyway, they want to have a iPhone that is built just for them, that it's got their company colors, their company logo. It's got this really cool 3D hologram image on it, and the only way that you can get that thing is by working for that company. And so what we're trying to, you're still kind of working on the logistics and stuff, and finding out, is it better to have Apple ship us the phones without a front LCD and without the back cover, and we would finish the manufacturing at our place, or would that company actually get the phones and from their carrier and then send them to us and have them disassembled and changed around to have these? We've got the ability, and this is kind of the last final piece of doing one-offs, where you've got all these 3D cameras now that we could actually, we've got a program that we've put together that you can actually put that 3D picture in, and it kind of virtualizes the sides of the picture so that we can actually do this. So when you've got a picture of the kids, at the house, you can see that dimension of the kids and the dog sitting together. You can see the depth between them and the house behind them, and the sharp detail in the grass. And what's different about these are high definition images. Typically, 3D images are a little bit grainy because of the way that they do it. These are like high def single profile images. So it's something that no one has ever seen before, and I just think the market for this is going to be unbelievable. And everybody that we've talked to, and we've talked to some industry experts that deal in the aftermarkets and for cell phones and for computers, and they're just eating this up. But what we're looking at doing is creating a new line of business, because it doesn't exist. The thing is, we've got the ability to fix broken phones, but the thing is, the market for phones or devices, anything, those markets are somewhat limited, because you got to have a broken phone to do business with us. But what if we go into a whole nother line of customization? Well, then that opens the market into everybody, because it's not just, oh, I broke my phone, I need to get it fixed. It's like, hey, I go to this school, I'm alumni of Harvard or UT or a school, or a huge fan of the Heat, and I want to have this one of a kind type. Well, I say one of a kind, it would be a mass produced item, but I want to have this special housing put on my phone, to show my team spirit and let everybody know this is my team. It opens up the market tremendously, where it's like I said, a very small footprint when it comes to repairs, but when you go into customization, that's huge. It's like getting your car fixed. If you of course the motor quits running, that's when you take it to go get it fixed. You don't really ever go to the mechanic unless something breaks. But when you buy that car and you want the custom rims, or you want to do some pinstriping or whatever, there's nothing wrong with the car. The wheels were just fine, but you just want to do that to customize it. That opens up a whole new world of repairs, and it's something that nobody else does. And we're looking at doing that, and we're also going into a line of other customized parts where customized finishes, where say you go to an Ivy League school, and that Ivy League school, and we're actually in the middle of talks with one, that Ivy League school has a business program, and they want all their MBAs to get a 24-karat gold-plated iPhone 4S upon graduation. And we have the ability to actually manufacture those parts, where we can manufacture the digitizer using Corning's Gorilla Glass, having a 24-karat gold-plated frame that runs around the outside, and then, of course, a matching back that's has the gold plating on it, but also integrates in that the technology that we have in actually printing the school logo, that we can have that high-def two-dimensional image in the back. So it's real exciting, and we've got one of these after the other. of these ideas. But to me, that one's the most exciting, and that's the one that I like the most. But yeah, we've got that. We've got a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Being able to personalize something like that is pretty neat. I just have one question for you regarding that. Like, if the Ivy League school does the gold. I guess it would be like the actual housing piece of it. As time goes on with the advanced technology of the way phones have gone for like the last 5 years, do you anticipate where you can just change out the insides of it over time?
Usually not, because when you start looking at the prices of like a motherboard, the thing is if you wanted to change the motherboard's not going to be compatible with the LCD or the battery or this or that. So the problem is there's no cross compatibility. Every time a new phone comes out, everything about that phone is new. So as time goes on, we could reuse on that particular phone, if it's, an Apple Spirit where the 4 and the 4S are more or less the same frame, the glass in the back are more or less made the same. Yeah, we could probably reuse those, but I got a feeling the next generation, the iPhone 5 is going to be a very sleek device, and a little sexier device than the iPhone 4, the iPhone 4S. So I don't know if that would even be a possibility.
I mean, I
like I was saying, this is.
I really like the idea of being able to personalize based off of a corporation. I mean, especially when you look at theft and those type of things, lost phones and all of that, there's a huge amount of money saving that actually would come from them having their own stuff with their own, you know what I mean, to where it identifies from anybody else. I mean, there's a huge value to that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty hard to explain how you got a phone from company XYZ when you don't work for XYZ. And, and it's going to be real obvious when someone sees it, they go, hey, I've never seen a phone like this in my life. It's going to be, huge. But, you've got this particular company, this cola company that's interested in doing this. I mean, they've got 75,000 phones. That's a lot of phones. And they want this done to every one of them.
75,000 phones.
So it's just 75,000 that they own. They pay the bill on. They own it. It's not an employee phone. It is their phone. And the company wants to do this because that way when those people are out in front of customers or they're out in, just in public and they pull this thing out, it's so amazing looking that it becomes a conversational piece. The phones actually become a marketing piece at that point.
Amazing. You realize there's only 2 cola companies that could be, right?
Right, but I didn't say which one.
I got Google going crazy over here. All right, so clearly from the medical device.
But we've got a large computer manufacturing company, kind of the same thing, and everybody is just chomping at the bits for us to get this out and get it moving, and we're close. I need to take a trip. It's time to get out of the office. I got to go see a couple manufacturers, and we're having to be kind of careful with it because we don't want. It's something we haven't put the patent on it yet because we've got to finish or finalize the manufacturing process before we apply for the patent. And it's something that we're talking to everybody, and they all think we're crazy because I keep telling me I just need this one little piece. To do something, I can't tell them, well, I need this and then this and then this and then this because I don't need anybody understanding the manufacturing process at this point. So, it's just been, like I said, real exciting. And the potential there is huge because it's not just cell phones. It's laptop housings or, anything that you can think of that you would want to personalize. We could do that. And, the way that this stuff is built, it can be used on anything. I mean, it could, of course, cups. You'd see them at sporting events, and for that would probably be, kind of a given. Everybody wants to do their marketing there, but it's just got a huge mass market appeal. It's not just cell phones. It could be anything, that people use for marketing purposes, or anything that people want customized. I mean, you might even, see artwork change in people's houses where, the Mona Lisa gets changed out with a 3D, a high-def two-dimensional Mona Lisa. What does her sides look like? Now I know she's got sideburns. It's just, like I said, the possibilities are absolutely endless.
Now, okay. So clearly right now you're in the middle of a whole bunch of things to where you can't tell us these companies. I get that. I especially, I'm sure everyone that's listening triggered on the medical devices, and you skipped over that company pretty good. And I wanted to ask you, but I understand where you are with that.
Well, I can give you a hint. If you think of government agencies that are referred to in three-letter words or three-letter acronyms, in companies, a lot of companies that have three-letter acronyms, chances are those are people we're talking to.
Well, those are all big.
All right. It's kind of a thanks but no thanks. But
okay, so I get where you're at and where you're going, and I understand the pause, if you will, in telling us those things. When do you anticipate announcing some of those key avenues as far as going to that next stage?
Probably in the next 30 days.
And I would assume that it's going to be a tumble effect. I mean, one thing I've noticed is, especially with corporations, it seems to be a keep up with the Joneses. And as soon as you kind of gave me some of the targets that you're looking at, I immediately thought of Merck and stuff like that, because they have, like, I believe it's between 75,000, 100,000 employees and a whole bunch of other stuff. And there's a bunch of companies that are similar to that. All right, I want to change gears on you a little bit. Because I don't want you to say something you can't say, and quite frankly, I'd like to have you back on the radio show in a couple months or so. Let's talk about the joint venture a little bit. Now, if I remember correctly, there was with the Worldwide Wireless Inc. and the spin-off possibility, or how you're going with that. Can you explain that to us?
Okay, yeah, and I probably was not, I guess, as definitive as I should have been last time we spoke. But once the merger is completed, our intention is to do an immediate spinoff. So I made it sound like if we do this, but no, it's imminent. Our intentions are to do an immediate spinoff once the merger is complete. So right now we're in the middle of interviewing some audit firms. Once we get an audit firm going and get that where it needs to be, we're going to be filing a registration statement as immediately, as soon as it becomes effective. We're going to be filing the registration statement.
Okay, and how does the as a shareholder in EVPH, how does that work?
Well, how it's going to work is anybody that is a shareholder or that has ownership in the company, is we're going to basically have an established dividend, which is when the spinoff happens, is that you will have equal shares in each of the companies, in EVPH as well as Worldwide Wireless.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, I remember. I know you touched on that a little bit, and that makes it much more clear. The other thing that I was asked a couple of times over the course of the last few days is when it comes to you mentioned about phone repairs and those type of things and how you do that regarding people out there, what do they do to get a phone repair? I mean, because when I was looking at it, I was seeing a bunch of different websites, and I didn't understand how the website pieces were working. I'll be honest with you about that.
Okay. Well, when you're saying people get them repaired, are you talking about our listeners or just people in general?
Sure, why not? No, listeners, they're the ones listening.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we wanted to. I was thinking over the last couple of days. Everybody's kind enough to donate an hour of their time to listening to this, and I guess 2 hours for today. So what I wanted to do, just kind of show my appreciation, is we're going, I think tonight, to get a coupon code put on the Repair World site that if they use SST as the coupon code, it'll get them 25% off any repairs, parts, anything that's on that site. But the way and if they're stockholders, call me directly and we'll work something even better out for you. But as the general public, it's the way the site works is it has a flow where you go to the eRepair World site. The site's kind of broken into three parts. It's broken into doing repairs, buying parts, and then, of course, buying accessories. So you've got kind of a flow, and our database that we did is absolutely enormous because the cross-references in it would make your head spin. It's not that you have to start out saying, I want to repair, I want to buy parts, or I want to buy accessories. You can say, I've got a Apple iPhone, or I've got, a Droid Incredible. There's 5 or 6 different ways of points of entry, and no matter which one they go through, it's going to get them where they want to go. So just to make things simple, let's say you go there, you say, okay, I need my phone repaired. So you click on, I need my phone repaired. And once you click on that, then it'd say, okay, what model phone do you have? And you pick the manufacturer, and then from the manufacturer, then you drill down to the actual model. Then once you go to that model, then you'll start seeing a list of all the repairs that we offer. And, it's not 100% at this point. We are still adding stuff like crazy. If you don't see a repair, just give us a call because, we've got 2 people doing data entry 50 hours a week right now trying to get everything put in because we've gone from, one line of phones being BlackBerry, into, the BlackBerries, the iPhones, which the iPhones are fairly simple because there's only 4 different models. But then when you get into Android, Android's not made by any one company. There's, Motorola, LG, Samsung, HTC, or just some of the bigger ones. But there's probably 40 or 50 manufacturers of Droid phones or Android phones. And so, we've been racing like crazy trying to identify, what repairs we can do and get those put in there. And it's kind of a chicken before the egg thing is that we have to find out what parts we can get, and then once we know what parts we can get, then that's how we decide what kind of repairs that we can offer because we don't want to offer repairs that we can't actually supply the parts for. So it's, so once they drill down, find that repair that they're after, they go through the checkout. Checkout basically tells them, hey, when you pick out shipping, this is how you want the phone shipped back to you. Currently, the way the site works, the customer is responsible for shipping us the phone. So, once they complete the order, they're going to get a copy of that order that they could put in the box, and that has the address on it, the order number. So once we get it, we know how it gets handled. In the very near future, version 2.0 of the website, because we're still on 1.0, version 2.0, the customers will actually be able to prepay for a shipping label. So if they want to ship it at FedEx, UPS, USPS, it doesn't matter. The website will actually have a part of it that they can say, all right, I want to ship it using this, but I want it shipped back to me using this, so they can actually prepay the round trip that phone's going to travel coming to us and then going back. As well as we're also looking at putting together a ship me my phone package where people don't really have to go through the process of trying to find the right box or the right packaging to package that phone, so it comes when it gets to us, it's not damaged any more than it already was damaged. And that has happened. We've had people just stick them in an envelope, and when they show up, it's kind of like a ball of silicone and glass dust when we get it. So proper packaging is important. We're going to actually try to facilitate that if they want to order a ship it to me box, that we could actually have it already put together with a box that's got the correct padding and everything, that when they order that shipping label, we stick it in the box with the shipping thing, send it to them. Then all they have to do is take their phone, stick it in the box, close it, put the shipping label on it, and drop it in the mail, and it'll get to us. Similar to what people are doing today with the, like say if you've got T-Mobile or an AT&T phone and you damage it and you exercise the insurance on it or the warranty, they'll usually ship you a box for you to stick it in to send it over. And that's something we haven't done, but it's something that we are going to be doing here in the near future. We're just trying to make sure that it's economically feasible, because shipping right now is expensive, and it's not getting any cheaper. And then unfortunately, with everything that's going on in the world today, I got a feeling it's about to get even more expensive.
Understand. Now, when I was looking at the different websites through, to drill down in this, I saw eRepairWorld.com and I saw PDARepairWorld.com. Do those go to the same thing, or are they multiple sites or multiple locations?
Those two sites actually do go to the same place. Right. There is a PDA Repair World website, which is actually PDARW.com. And let's actually talk about that one for a minute, if you got a second, because that one's a real interesting site. That is the initial or the original BlackBerry repair site, and that site is a partnership between us and another company called Smartphone Experts. And Smartphone Experts is one of the largest suppliers or resellers of cell phone accessories in the United States. And a lot of people know them. They don't know the name Smartphone Experts because that's their corporate name, but they know them by a better name, which is crackberry.com. And they have a huge following. They do a lot of blogging. They do a lot for the industry. And they, we talked for several years before anything became definitive, but they have been wanting to offer repairs on their website, but of course it wasn't their line of business. They didn't have the expertise to do it, so we formed a partnership with them, and that's what the PDARW site is a partnership between us and Smartphone Experts. So when you go to that site, you can actually see all the BlackBerry repairs, and it's about to, since we've got the repairs being expanded on the eRepair World site, with the iPhone and the Androids, the PDARW site is about to have that as well, because Smartphone Experts has several websites. Crackberry.com just happens to be their site for BlackBerry, but they have an iPhone website, they have an Android website, and a few other manufacturers. So our repairs are going to extend onto those websites as well. And so it's a partnership. I guess it's been about a year. It's been running for a year. It's been very good for both of us because, where we have 30,000 clients, they have probably close to probably 500,000 or more. I mean, it's just unbelievable, their database of clientele. And they're going, that's part of our marketing. And if y'all want to get into marketing, we can talk about it, because that's one of the many pieces of what we're going to be doing. But the Smartphone Experts has already put out an announcement that this is coming. We're going to be doing Android, and we're going to be doing iPhone, and it's basically based on waiting for us to get geared up and ready to go. So that's going to be launching here in the very near future, probably also in about the next 30 days.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot of moving pieces here. All right. So the merger is going to happen, and it's happening here very soon. All these different avenues with some of the inventions and the different marketing processes are happening here very soon. And you also have multiple partnerships regarding you're the back end, I would assume, from a repair perspective for a lot of these other different companies. So when I always base things off
absolutely.
of marketing, and when other people are doing the marketing, meaning they have their website, they have their center point, they have their customers. In essence, they're doing all the marketing for you. Is that accurate?
Well, not all of it, but yes, for that side of it, yes. They're going to, when it comes to the PDA-RW site, which is going to remain intact, even though, our focus kind of going forward is going to be the eRepair World site. The thing is, the eRepair World site is going to be able to do a lot of things that just aren't technically capable to do on the PDA-RW site. And that's because that particular site is actually hosted by smartphone experts, and their technology is not far enough advanced, and that's why we went with the with eRepair World. That was built from the ground up. It was kind of, all right, here's my dream site, and here's how I want it built. So it's built 100% spec or to my specs, and that they know, here's phase 1, here's phase 2, here's phase 3, here's phase 4. The thing is, this site's going to be way beyond anything anybody has ever seen, and the functionality is going to be way beyond anything that anybody's seen, not just in the cell phone industry, but in any retail, environment. I don't want to pick on the big guys, but because I don't want to say any names, but y'all can just pick up a couple big ones that everybody thinks of, the major e-tailers. And when we're done, the functionality of our site is, their sites are going to be dwarfed in comparison to the functionality of what our sites will actually do. I mean, for instance, you're getting your phone repaired. You get an email that says, hey, your phone just got pulled by this technician. It's sitting on his desk, and he's working on it right now. Do you want to watch? Yeah. You click it, boom, a camera, pops up over that technician's desk, and you're actually watching your phone getting worked on.
Okay.
And then when that technician's finished, it's.
I just want to tie the last piece of that together.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Because I want to tie that last piece together. When I understand that there's a lot of this. A lot of this is happening to where marketing is happening, by others to drive traffic to their websites. Now, when it comes to these other products and these other type of things, are you doing any direct marketing yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. We've hired a very respected advertising SEO virtual office company. It's a company called eSilverConnect, and they are just unbelievable when it comes to their actual end product. And so we've signed a deal with them that we're going to have multiple marketing folks at their place. We've got, like I said last time we spoke, we've got 30,000 customers that we need to get back in touch with. Well, that's just almost humanly impossible for me to do. I can't pick up the phone and call 30,000 people. So I'm hiring a company to actually call them, reintroduce them to the company. The company's kind of in the process of being a phoenix right now, and so we want them to go through and actually be able to spend a few minutes with everybody and say, I know we did this for you, but here's what we're doing now. We've got this, we've got this, we've got this. Do you have any interest in those types of things? Why don't you send anything that you've got to us so we can go through and give you those free estimates just like it used to be. And so, we're hoping to have a huge jump in revenue here as soon as these guys get on the phone. They're war dialers. We've used them in the past, and the results were phenomenal, so we're going to use them again. So they're going to be doing cold calling for us. They're working on the SEO optimization of the eRepair World website. The way Google works with websites is you've got a lot of things that I guess kind of get plugged into an algorithm, and one's how old's the site, and then two, what does your site say? How relevant is it versus the title of that page? How relevant is the content? And all these things. There's like I don't know, probably 20 or 25 different things that Google takes into account that has them develop where they're going to place you on that search engine. And, right now if you go to Google and you type in BlackBerry repair, we're like number 1 or number 2 on Google. The PDARW site is, and then also you'll see Crackberry comes up as well, and that's us as well. The Crackberry sites, and the PDARW sites are identical. So that comes up. But what we want is that when you type in something more specific of, say, iPhone 4S digitizer changeout or LCD changeout, that we're the number 1 company that comes up. And we had to get somebody with the expertise that eSilverConnect has to get us there. It just requires a lot of work, and it's a full-time job. They've actually got several people that do this, 100% every day for us. It's not a, work on a couple hours, here and send us a bill. They're full-time employees that are basically subcontracted out, I guess, to us that do this. So what we're doing is positioning ourselves that no matter what you type, any electrical device, when we spoke last time, I told you, if you can hold it in your hands and it's got batteries, we're going to be able to fix it. Well, we want to be able to express that on the search engines, that when you type any type of device, not literally any type of device, but, you type in the iPhone 4 or the Droid Razor or anything like that, and you type in LCD repair or port replacement or battery change out, anything like that, something that we do, that we're going to be the number 1 company that pops up in the search engine. To me, I don't take advertising lightly, but I do understand the difference between expensive advertising and cheap advertising. Expensive advertising is where you spend $1 million and you sold $100,000 worth of stuff. But cheap advertising is where you spend $1 million and you make $100 million. And so that's what we're focusing on is we're trying to make sure that all of our advertising going forward and marketing is cheap advertising and marketing. We're willing to spend the money, but we're demanding the results. And so far so good, because the phones have started ringing off the hook, and we're, because of that, the third piece of what we're using them for is a virtual office, and that we need some help with overflow calls, because we are starting to get, phone lines are staying lit, and, we've got, I think, 12 phone lines now, and, 5 or 6 are staying lit. We just can't get to them with the amount of people that we have. So we're getting it programmed right now where the overflow is going to go to them, so that at least somebody, when they call, they are going to be talking to a human being and not having to leave a voicemail. They're going to be. We're looking right now into broadening that contract to also go into customer service, where people call and they've got questions not regarding a repair per se, but of how do I do this, how do I do that, or I've got a problem with this, what do I need to do to return it, any of those types of things. That we're going to outsource that to them as well. They just do a superb job.
Excellent. So basically you pretty much have all the pieces in place. Now it's just execution of the business operations.
Yep, and that's the where I see a lot of things fail. I see companies with fantastic ideas, but they never can get it. Never can execute. And when you fail in the execution, just why bother? So that's where our focus is going to be, is getting the trigger pulled and making sure we hit our target.
All right, excellent. I think that pretty much covers what we missed from last time, because, a lot of these things that you just discussed over the course of the last 40 minutes have been the tie-ins of, this is where we were, this is where we are, and this is how we're getting to that next level. And, the next level is pretty big in a lot of different things, especially from a market segmentation and all the different avenues of partnerships that you have. It's pretty mind-boggling what you're doing. And we look forward to, over the course of the next few months, tracking where that is and going from that route. Is there anything that you wanted to cover that I did not cover?
No, I just kind of one of those stay tuned things. We've got one other product that I was actually just thinking about, and I don't want to open a can of worms, but I'm going to do it anyway. We've got it started out as as a ruggedized housing that we were going to develop for the MacBook and the MacBook Pro, because they don't really make one. And we worked with a company that actually makes a bulletproof type fiber, and we've got another company we work with that is experts in polymers. And in trying to develop these particular products, we kind of stumbled upon something that was absolutely revolutionary, that we've developed a material that is a little more than 1.5 millimeters thick, that is lighter than carbon fiber and has more tensile strength than steel. And, like I said, originally we slated it because we were trying to make a ruggedized housing that was going to be lightweight and literally bulletproof. And right now we're kind of playing around with a government contractor that makes airplanes. And it's something that once we can do a little bit more with it, I think we are going to have a possibility of moving into the aerospace market with the material, because you can have something that is lighter than carbon fiber that's bulletproof, which has everybody's attention right now.
When you say aerospace, I mean, because one of the big things that they've been having issues with, as far as especially from the UAVs, is that where you're going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, UAVs, and I think, the first prototype they want to do is helicopter blades, but we're going to do that, and then UAV is a huge market because they've got to, get it lighter so it can go faster and use less energy. And, I don't know if we have found the miracle product of the 22nd century, but we might be onto something, so like I said, I don't want to say too much about it right now, but just kind of let you know it is something we're working on.
The can of worms, I would call
that. The types that I've seen are incredible. I mean, you can have a piece, and think about a yardstick. Okay, so this thing is, is about as wide as a yardstick, but it's, as thin as a small ruler. So it's, about 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters thick. And I'm a pretty big guy, and I can't even bend it, much less break it. I mean, it's only about 1 inch wide and about 1 millimeter thick, and I can't break it or bend it. It's unbelievable, and it's 3 feet long.
Wow.
It has unbelievable torsional properties. It's amazing. But originally we were going to use it for a ruggedized housing for cell phones, but we're not really sure where this thing's going to go. But that's still in the cooking pot right now.
Amazing. Well, that was definitely from left field, and and as much as I want to talk about that, believe me, because I know there's a huge need from that, especially from if when you're talking bulletproof and a couple of different things. Of course, the millimeter size matters when it comes to that. I'm very interested in what the actual size of the millimeter round that will hold back. Very interested in that. But that will be for another day. And
that's one of the things we haven't done ballistic testing yet, so we don't know. We know what the properties are of the material itself, but when we combined it with the polymers, I don't know how that changed. And so that's one of the things that we're looking at doing. But I guess the point of bringing that up is I wanted, the listeners to know that this is not a one-trick pony. That we've got a lot of stuff up our sleeve, and our main goal going forward is firing up eRepair World and getting it profitable. And by doing that, it helps us fund all of the other little projects that we've got going, and the inventions to allow us to develop those further. And but the fastest way for us to start making money is to get eRepair World up and running where it needs to be. So that's where our focus is. And then once that is going like crazy and generating lots of profit, then we can use that to fund our other little pet projects at the moment.
So in essence, you're going to have an R&D shop as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
And try to put
All
those doctorates to good use.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, Dr. Norman, it's been great having you on the show. Really appreciate all the insight, and once again, you have left us with more intrigue on a lot of different things that you'll be doing over the course of the next few months, and really looking forward to seeing some of those things announced via some press releases. And I'm sure your shareholders are probably pretty excited, and that's a good thing, and it sounds like they have a good reason for that. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be with us, and thank you again.
Thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
That was Dr. Paul Norman, the CEO of Everybody's Phone Company, stock ticker EVPH. I would be willing to bet that the name Everybody's Phone Company will not be the name in the near future. It sounds like it's becoming more of a conglomerate of a lot of different avenues and a lot of different things going on in that camp. Definitely one to watch and see what's going on. Well, part 2 just as intriguing as part 1. I want to sit here and talk about a lot of different things about they got the dividend piece is big, of course. The joint venture is big. I mean, some of the inventions and certain things they have in the pipeline are big. And the last bit that he talked about that was really from left field. I mean, that has been something that a lot of people have been trying to solve for very good reason. And I don't even want to get into that. But if he's working with military contractors and they score that, it's not Everybody's Phone Company anymore. It's a mini section of Lockheed Martin is what it would be. I mean, seriously, that's a big deal. I mean, granted, you got to have the ballistic testing and those type of things, but they are all over the place. And I'm trying. And here's the part that's different from the first interview to this one. One thing where we kind of lost track of time, but the whole marketing thing and the direct marketing side. You can create anything and build anything. You still got to be able to sell it. So unless you have a storefront or those type of things, that's normally where a lot of people fail. What he brought to light this evening is the fact that all that stuff's already in place. I mean, the different the different websites that he actually has that are doing the things from the e-repair and dealing with the he said it pretty clear. If they have a 3-letter acronym, he's working with them in some shape or form. That's a lot of big names, as we can know, and I don't want to speculate on what those were. But I will tell you this: as far as 75,000 phones, there's only 2 cola companies that could be, and that's either Pepsi or Coke. Period. No doubt about that. So that stuff is pretty cascading, and they scored one of those. This is a complete different game. I'm just kind of like in awe with this, and I don't want to sit here and say things like it's too hard to believe. I mean, he wouldn't just say that stuff, but you score that, you're not a penny company. You're not a Pink Sheet or OTCBB. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's big money, because when they do those maintenance contracts of that form, especially from an e-repair thing, that's not like a one-time thing. That's a commitment. That's a contract for years. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Wow, good stuff.
Well, I mean, looking forward, in my opinion, your cell phone is going to replace your wallet and eventually your keys.
I think so too.
I mean, you'll have credit cards and unlock my car, start my car, unlock my house, everything going through your cell phone.
I would agree with you, because I got to tell you, you know me better than most, and I'm not a huge technology guy, and I am literally spending 2 to 3 hours a day dealing with this iPhone 4S and just discovering some of the things that this thing can do. It's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, of what's happening with this technology. I'll give you I don't want to get off base, but let me give you an example. Everybody in the country, well, not everybody, but most people use Craigslist, right? Right. Okay. Craigslist is a great way to buy things, pretty reasonable. I grabbed an app and did some research on what they can do with Craigslist. I got this Craigslist app. I can set it and filter it to send me notifications over the phone when anything that I'm looking for anywhere in the country or the world, for that matter, will basically send me an alert notification over my phone no matter where I am. So I'm not sitting in front of the computer. You know how a lot of things with Craigslist is your timing of when you're on it. So if I'm looking for something specific within a certain price range, as soon as it pops up, it sends an alert notification. It's unbelievable, like a boat or a car if I'm looking for a particular car or anything like that. Absolutely amazing where this stuff is going. Just amazing. And
don't forget, he also said that he's going to put up on his website a discount offer using the code STT, we hope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could tell Dr. Norman has a lot of passion for what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
He's flying. I mean, I bet you he could sit there and talk for 3 hours over this different stuff that he's got going. And there's probably some lawyers that's close by that's probably on the phone with him right now going, "Don't say that. You can't. Dude, you're saying too much. Slow down." I mean, think about it.
As they keep on upgrading these cell towers and so forth, I mean, now a lot of them, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I would think that most are fiber activated now. So your bandwidth becomes more, your flexibility becomes more. They used to run off of copper lines and then T1s and DS3s and things of that nature, which give you bandwidth but don't give you the bandwidth that a fiber cable can give you. So obviously, like I said, I see in the not far future the point where, you just carry your cell phone around with you, basically.
Yeah.
No more wallets, no more keys. And hopefully they'll offer up something to the public where you go to their website and sign up for like some sort of maintenance plan, where you could send in your phone and you pay for parts only, stuff like that. So a lot to look forward to in this coming. Also, the other thing that I wanted to bring up was the fact that, there's a lot of turnover in your cell phones. You have a cell phone for a year and your contract's up and you can call and get a discount on a new phone and turn it over. I know it was that way with Verizon. And as of 2013, they are now going to extend that to make it 2 years on your turnover rate. No longer a year can you trade in your phone. It'll be 2 years. So as that goes and extends, obviously the need for repairs will become greater.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
So that's another thing that you have to look at. It's how long until I can turn my phone over. So
the other one thing I did want to address with that, and we're traders in the in the OTC. We do interviews and all that other stuff. And one thing that man just did a little different than most. What do you think it is? I'll bet you there was at least 10 different press releases in that radio interview.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Mr. Kopp, I'd love to talk with you more about this, but we're running short of time once again.
Yep, it happens. All right, have a good evening, and it was enjoyable.
QT, great show, dear. Siffy, same thing. Great show. Way to go, guys. Don't forget to catch the morning show at 9 a.m. Eastern, starring Stock Sumo, Siffakia, and Haas. And we'll be back with the night show tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We hope you enjoyed tonight's interview. You are listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.